In the year of our Lord 2026, the entire might of the US government came together to convince its people that when one of the agents of the federal government murdered a citizen in cold blood, it was okay because Renee Good, a mother of three, was a domestic terrorist bent on making life hard for these poor wee little ICE agents. And a lot of people are buying this bullshit because they subscribe to this world where anything is good if it's following the law and bad if it isn't. And Renee Good isn't the first case of this kind of thing. There have been many such cases as far back as the Reconstruction era. Playing the technically legal argument is the easiest way to mire a negative situation involving government officials, namely police, in doubt. We should all be concerned about any framework that sees law as inherently good, because it positions the world in a black or white dichotomy that simply doesn't exist. It gives law enforcement officers significantly more credit and power than they should have, positioning them as somehow morally superior because they're supporting the law, they're supporting good, they are the good guys. But this all follows from a long-standing trend in the US and the world writ large. People want to believe that there is an easy framework to follow that guarantees them safety, right? That they don't have to worry about becoming a victim of the system because they know the system is good and working as intended. Bad guys are doing bad things, and they're dying because they're so bad that they can't be controlled. It is possible to do a good thing by breaking the law. Leon Plauché murdered his son's molester in broad daylight as he was being escorted by the police to his trial. If we're going by the government's playbook, Plauché was a violent, out-of-control radical leftist who endangered officers and obstructed justice, but is really just an angry and a scared father whose entire life had been upended by a deeply cruel individual. Just because laws exist, or things can be done under the law, doesn't mean that those things are right or good, and people have a right to make that known. Bringing it back to our current scenario, it is certainly not legally allowed to intentionally obstruct rightful duties of immigration enforcement. But what recourse do you have if you watch the agents of the state, armed authorities with little to no oversight, and the entire force of the powers of the government behind them telling them that what they are doing is okay? What right and what capability do you have to stand up to them and tell them when they are doing something that is morally and ethically unjust? If I'm watching a policeman beat someone who I know has committed no crime, I'm just going to sit back and say, well, that's just how the system works. They're doing the right thing because they're supporting the law, and he obviously broke the law because they're beating him, right? No, I'm going to throw myself on the line to stop that from happening. And I get it. Someone's going to say something along the lines of, well, I think what they're doing is fine and good and keeping me safe because I know it's right, because I know it's righteous, whatever. And sure, that is your opinion, but that does not mean you are allowed to override the opinions of those who do not see the same as you. You are able to believe the way you do because you are propped up by a heavily militarized system that believes the same as you. Going along with that system takes no moral courage or energy or intelligence on your part. It is every citizen's right to protest injustice. It was Renee Good's right to protest injustice. And what form that civil disobedience takes cannot be dictated by any authority. And if the only way you have to show that you are in the right is by killing unarmed people, unarmed citizens of this nation, then you're most likely not on the side of what is right and good anymore. Laws are not morals, and what is moral should not always be a law. But what is moral is the friends you made along the way.